The demolition of the shopping mall built during the Celestine Omehia administration in River State is stirring comments. A development economist, Ugochukwu Abarakwe, tells correspondent Yobiorowari that the state government will need to ensure that the next project to be sited there has economic value.
I would advise that so far with what I've heard he's doing, I believe it means well for the state. This is the whole side, like one project that was abandoned after Amechi. We didn't do anything there. I've abandoned it. There's a bridge there that's supposed to link up Abua to Port Harcourt, which will make their life very much here. With what I think the current governor is doing, I think we must have something in mind for demolishing that. My advice is that whatever is going to be there should be something that will add more development value to the state than what already exists here.
Another economist, Orwell Ntega, spoke on this.
It's a long time, and if there are defects, and if you see the cost of repair, it will even take more money than building a new thing. What government has as a concept now is different. Then you cannot compromise safety. So if government has seen that, and government said, oh, this part of the building is not good, or it cannot stand the test of time again, it is a rational decision. And government said, no, what we want to do is that we want to use it for some other project or facility that will have direct economic bearing in terms of job creation and on the people. There is a rational thinking. There is nothing wrong with that.
However, youth leader Livingston Membere describes the demolition exercise as a huge economic loss to the state.
It's a colossal waste of the state resources. A building like that located in a very strategic area. I don't know the intention of the state government why they decided to demolish such a building. That place could have served as a hub that can also create employment to our youth. So I am advising the state government to, in place of that structure, build an ultra-modern ICT center where our youth can be gainfully employed.
Recall that the shopping mall, constructed during the 6-month lifespan of former Governor Celestine Omehia, was abandoned by the two successive governments of former governors Chibike Amechi and Nyesom Wike. Moving on, the usual River State Executive Council meeting have not been held in River State this year. The last of such was held on December 11, 2023. It is not clear if internal meetings are being held and not made public, but the lack of official announcement of outcomes regarding ESCO meetings has stirred concerns. As you may know, the Executive Council is a critical body in the governance of River State. It serves as a central decision-making forum, bringing together the governor, deputy governor, secretary to the state government, commissioners, and special advisors. While the specifics of ESCO meetings may not be publicly shared, the very act of regular convening is what many are used to and see as standard practice. No reason has been given by the River State government for not holding the usual ESCO meetings this year yet. But public affairs analyst Marcus Ijoma believes it is linked to the political crisis that saw 9 commissioners resign and were later reinstated following a peace deal. Mr. Ijoma tells our correspondent that it could be Governor Fubara's way of keeping some disloyal cabinet members far away. He also sees the governor's decision to return the resigned commissioners as a political error.
I've always known that the governor's choice or decision to return those who resigned voluntarily from his cabinet was a huge error, a huge political blunder, and I still maintain that position. And maybe he has realized that he made a mistake, but he's being careful not to go back to his vote. So he'll rather keep the commissioners in order to fulfill his own part of the Abuja Accord, but keep them redundant, which is his own style of psychologically torturing those who are perceived to have betrayed him in the middle of the crisis.
Mr. Joma insists that the current peace enjoyed in the state is fragile.
I told those who care to listen before now that the peace we currently enjoy is a first aid peace. It is not a lasting peace. So everybody is watching each other's body language. As to why the nominees or some commissioners have not been assigned portfolio, again, it is all about the fragile peace that we currently enjoy.
Meanwhile, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has approved the immediate employment of 500 staff members in the state health sector. Governor Fubara gave his approval during an interactive meeting he had with the newly appointed members of the Rivers State Hospital's Management Board. When employed, the new staff members will be shared between the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital and the Rivers State Health Management Board. 3 weeks have been given as a timeline to complete the process and ensure that those engaged begin work. Also approved is the start of the process of promotion of all staff members of the Rivers State Health Management Board and RSUTH, which should be concluded within March 2024. Away from that, the presidency has denied the report that the United Arab Emirates UAE has resumed visa services for Nigerians. The special advisor to the President of Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, debunked the report in a post on his X account, stating that the document in circulation is not from the Nigerian or UAE government. Reacting to this, a former Senator Shehu Sani said the person behind the fake news about the UAE lifting visa restrictions on Nigeria is not a good person. He said this is the third fake news of the matter. Still to come, House of Representatives consider law to regulate crypto transactions. Stay with us. Second term at an election monitored by the Rivers State Ministry of Transport, NATO National and the Zonal Chairman Sam Aherakwe in Port Harcourt Sunday. Ndwa Wike was returned as the state NATO Chairman. Clement Oziri emerged as Deputy Chairman 1, while David Enwukwe emerged as Deputy Chairman 2. Others are Shedrack Olusegun, Treasurer, Ekayawu Isaac, Financial Secretary, Nwahiri Njineka, Public Relations Officer, and David Ozemenam Ani, Welfare Officer. Also, Samuel Nnaji Ihanacho was declared Vice Chairman, Wet Cargo, Suleiman Abdullahi as Vice Chairman, Dry Cargo, and Nwigwe Chika as Vice Chairman, Commuter, Chijoke Victor, John Baridumene, Olaoye Aderemi Ayo, Emmanuel Okando, and Comrade Mustafa were returned as ESCO Official 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 respectively. In another development, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed Julius Abure as the chairman of the Labour Party. The appellate court also set aside the decision of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, which last year restrained Mr. Abure and 2 others from parading themselves as national officers of the party. In the judgment delivered by Justice Hama Barka, the appellate court held that the High Court was wrong to have assumed jurisdiction on the matter. The appeal court also awarded a cost of 1 million naira in favor of Mr. Abure and against the respondent, Lamidi Apapa. In other news, former Minister of State for Defense Musiliu Obanikoro says the federal government needs to communicate whether subsidy has returned or not. Mr. Obanikoro, who spoke on Channels Television, said the government may be filling the widening gap between the US dollar and naira in the final price of petrol. He urged the federal government to take the people along step by step. Now, the federal government has intensified the effort to combat food inflation and the cost of living crisis by intercepting 141 trucks attempting to smuggle grains and staples to neighboring countries. The Nigerian Customs Service and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) have been actively involved in stopping smuggling activities, with 120 trucks intercepted by customs and 21 trucks stopped by the EFCC in just 2 weeks. Despite these measures, truck drivers facing attacks from hoodlums have threatened to strike if the situation persists. And now to business. The House of Representatives says it will investigate the national security implications of cryptocurrency and other digital asset transactions. The House is also to investigate the current status of the e-Naira on the global cryptocurrency platform, the cost incurred, the process undertaken, and statutory compliance in creating the digital currency. And straight to entertainment, rappers Odumodu Black and Charlie Poppy will be sharing the stage across 9 cities in the US in a joint tour set to kick off on April 27. In sport, Paris Saint-Germain's forward Kylian Mbappe says he has no problem with manager Luis Enrique after scoring both goals in their Champions League victory over Real Sociedad.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Venezuela has announced it will hold presidential election on 28 July, months earlier than expected. President Nicolás Maduro, who has been in power for 11 years, is widely expected to seek re-election. His opponent, Maria Corina Machado, is banned from holding office for alleged financial misconduct, which she denies. That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. The demolition of a shopping mall at GRA Junction, Port Harcourt, has stirred comment. The usual cabinet meeting by Rivers State government has not held this year. Presidency says the UAE has not lifted the visa ban on Nigerians. And on the foreign scene, Venezuela has announced July 28 to hold presidential election. The news was edited by Martha Okerinkem. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.